Hi, my name is John Garfield. We're talking today about how to scale your kingdom business, 5 specific ways that you can take action on. And so I want to start by just sharing there are some complications in business that make it difficult. And so let me share a slide on that topic. Well, the 4 challenges that business people all face are one time. When you start a business, there's never enough hours in the day to do everything yourself. So that busyness can translate to marriage issues, shortage of vacation time, and stress. Health issues translated. You solve that by building your team. The problem is that leaders on your team aren't always on the same page. They occasionally leave for greener pastures and you get to start all over. So that can be a headache as well. The third one is money. It's easy to make money and it's hard to manage cash flow. Uh, Managing cash flow through market changes and everything else that can go wrong. The reality is 80% of businesses fail in the first 2 years over this issue of cash flow. And it comes down simply like this. One day you can't make payroll, and that's the end of the business. The fourth one is motivation. So I was recently in a coaching program that had a stepwise process to go through for coaching a business, having a healthy business, and it was 5 steps, and it ended with selling the business, which surprises me a little bit. But the fact is, money will not motivate you to run a business over a lifetime. There has to be a higher cause for you to make it. So I would like to tell you a happy story of a personal friend of mine. His name's Tobe Finch, and he was he's a restaurant owner in Lewiston, Idaho, has 14 restaurants and 550 employees. And he got a vision, and we actually helped him through a process we call the purpose profile. And he's protecting his the food supply for his restaurants by local sourcing. So we call it decentralization. He's also protecting the toxicity of the food by local sourcing. He has control over it, and it's not just shipped in from somewhere. So if you remember the COVID era, some of the meat packing plants, there are only a few major ones in the United States. One of them burned down. When you think about all those supply chain facilities that got damaged during COVID, mysteriously burning down, having fires, whatever, that it smelled like arson. Okay, so it was just too coincidental that all those things happened. So Tobe has a vision to intercept that process and actually protect his restaurants and his community. So he's got a Costco-sized warehouse where they um, you know have a meat packing capability. They can cut up the meat themselves. They have cooling rooms. They have freezers. He has a bakery. He has room for future aquaponics to grow produce inside the building himself. He's got all the maintenance for all his restaurants in there and storage, both of food and spare parts and refrigerators and freezers and everything else under the sun. So when and Tobe likes to give tours through this warehouse. So when he does, he shares his vision for decentralization, and he often explains why. Well, the why is because he felt God told him to. And it has this business benefit of protecting, people in the local community. So when he does that with Christians, he'll, quote Bob Jones or Kim Clement. And if it's people that are from a secular background, he'll quote Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Both are equally effective. And when he's done, people are supportive of it. They can sense that there's some legs on his vision. And not all of them would say it's from God, but a lot of them will. And one of the effects is they say, I want to do this with you. And one of them specifically said, when he heard Tobe's story, and Tobe mentioned, the context was he mentioned that, God, led him to do this, something of that nature. And the guy just raised his hand and said, I would like to be part of what God is doing. And so do a lot of business people. In my sense is that number is thousands, millions. So we have a 5 steps we take people through, and it starts with the kingdom purpose. So the first thing we start with is a purpose profile. So we're using the Simon Sinek format, getting both mission and purpose in a two. I want to do this to something, 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 and so that is the why or the purpose. And so it aligns people with their hearts. And the reality is that a kingdom business is built on the heart's desires of the owner, the CEO. And that's the foundation for a healthy business. Now, when you skip all the way to the end of the business culture, what you're doing is helping your employees connect with their purpose. So if you share your purpose in a business in a way that connects with other people, the way Tobe did, suddenly you have people that are motivated to do the same thing, and they don't have trouble waking up in the morning and going to work. And in fact, you're actually leveraging what God can do through them. That's a lot different than just hiring somebody to do what's in his resume. If you can have employees where you get what you get from the employee is what God can do through them, not just what they can do, then you got something. That's a kingdom business. And it leads to what we call ecclesia or tribe, and we're intentionally creating that culture. So back to step number 2, the business value creation. We want to have a product or service just like any other business that's quality, that actually people want to buy it. It has value to them. It blesses them. It meets a need. It makes their dream come true. And our staff is engaged and innovative in making that happen. So when you have a purpose and have a product, marketing gets suddenly very easy because it's easy to tell the story of your purpose. And people engage in it, just like in Tobe's case. And the fourth one is to create the wealth or have the cash flow. Now, every business person wants to have a business that works or makes money. So when we have our hearts aligned with a kingdom purpose, suddenly we have God's wind in our sails to make this business work. And suddenly our cup is running over and we can see dreams coming true. And that in turn also builds the culture of the business. So all those things together all start with your personal purpose. And that for a CEO or a business owner, that personal purpose gets expressed through the business, or it can in most cases. So what we do is help people through a process to understand exactly what that purpose is. And the quality of it is we say that when we're done, we like to keep fooling with it. And it takes about a month to 6 weeks, an hour and a half on Zoom once a week, which fits most business people's schedule. We can usually work that in. It takes that emotional investment and that amount of time, 5 to 10 hours, to get something that you feel is prophetically correct and that you're excited about. And so that's what's exciting about doing this. And that is when it comes to creating value in the products and services, we have other coaching resources that can help with all the mechanics of business if you need that. But this introduction of what is your purpose is what we want to emphasize in this particular call. And it's a great starting place because it gives us an opportunity to get acquainted and what you're getting into. So what I want to suggest is johngarfieldconsulting.com is where the stuff resides. And if you're a business person and you want to consider that purpose profile option, the Zoom calls, that's $1,000. And I would suggest before you just push the button on purpose profile, which is the lower right-hand box, that you book a consultation and let's chat about it first. Now, if you're not a business person or you just want to kick the tires a little bit, we have a Nail Your Purpose field guide for $47. That's the lower left box. And that's a 3-module course with all the downloads for your purpose profile. It's actually like a mind map with your purpose in the middle and 4 quadrants of where that purpose leads. And it will walk you through that process in a do-it-yourself fashion. So I just want to encourage you to take advantage of this and become familiar with what's available, and realize that talking on the phone is free. Talking on Zoom call is free. So sign up for the at the contact page on the website, and we'll arrange a Zoom call if this is something that interests you.